In this lecture, we discuss about Hilbert adjoint operator. We know that we have talked about extension of functionals on Banach spaces using up a Hahn-Banach theorem. And now using up a Rees representation theorem, we have extended the functionals on Hilbert spaces. So now here in this lecture, we can talk about the adjoint operator by we can talk about the extension of the functionals in the inner product spaces through which we can talk about a Hilbert adjoint operator. So the representation of functionals on a Hilbert spaces will enable us to introduce the Hilbert adjoint operator of a bounded linear operator on a Hilbert space. This operator was suggested by problems in matrices and linear differential and integral equations. We will see that it also helps us to define three important classes of operators called self-adjoint operator, normal operator, and unitary operator, which have been studied extensively because they play a key role in various applications. But in this lecture, we will focus only on the adjoint operator. So first of all, what is an adjoint operator? So let H1 and H2 be a Hilbert spaces and T be a bounded linear operator from H1 to H2. Then the adjoint is a T star from H2 to H1 such that the inner product of a Tx comma y is equal to be the inner product of x comma T star y. For all x belongs to be H1 and y belongs to be H2. So here whenever it is being satisfied of this property, then the operator is said to be a adjoint operator. So now we'll talk about first of all the existence of this Hilbert adjoint operator. So now we can talk about the existence of this Hilbert adjoint operator using up the Rees representation theorem in Hilbert spaces. So first is a theorem now. So let H be a complex Hilbert space and we'll represent the BLD H2H be a collection of all bounded linear operator from H onto itself. And let's suppose T belongs to be a collection of all bounded linear operators from H to H. Then there exists a adjoint operator T star belongs to be this collection of bounded linear operators such that the norm of a T is equal to be norm of T star. So now we'll discuss the proof of this theorem. So let T belongs to be a collection of a bounded linear operators and Y be any fixed element in a H Y. So we define F from H to D by f of x is equal to be the inner product of Tx comma y for all x belongs to be H. Now it has been given that the T is a linear, so this F is a linear. So it is easy to check it out. Now further we check that whether this Fi is bounded or not. So we have the modulus of f of ix is equal to be the inner product of Tx comma y modulus. And using up the CS inequality, we can say that this is less than equal to b norm of a Tx into norm of a y. And using up the bounded linear operator, because here it is given that T is a bounded linear operator. So using up a property, we have this is less than equal to be norm of a T into norm of a x into norm of y. So hence we can say that f is bounded and belongs to be the space of a functionals, say H star. So by the Rees representation theorem, we have this F belongs to be H star. There exists a unique Y star belongs to be H such that F is equal to be the inner product of X comma Y star for all X belongs to be H. Thus for F belongs to be H star with a fixed Y, we get Y star belongs to be H. So now we define a map T star from H to H by T star of a Y is equal to be Y star. So F of X with fixed Y is equal to be X comma inner product of X comma Y star, because here we define that T star of Y is equal to be Y star, so we have this is equal to be T star Y. So the inner product of Tx comma Y is equal to be the inner product of X comma T star Y for all X belongs to be H. So thus for T belongs to be the collection of a boundary linear operators, we get a map T star from H to H called the adjoint of a T. So now we have to prove that this T star is well defined. If possible, let T1 star from H to H such that the inner product of a Tx comma Y is equal to be the inner product of X comma T1 star Y for all X and Y belongs to be H. Also, we have an inner product of Tx and Y is equal to be inner product of X comma T1 star Y for all X and Y belongs to be H. So the inner product of X comma T star Y is equal to be inner product of X comma T1 star Y for all X and Y belongs to be H. So using up the properties of inner product, so we can write up this term as a inner product of X comma T star Y minus T1 star Y. And this can be further can be rewritten as a T star minus the T1 star Y is equal to be 0. So we can say that this T star minus T1 star is equal to be a 0 operator on H. Hence T star is equal to be T1 star. So therefore we have an inner product of a Tx comma Y is equal to be inner product of X comma T star Y. Consider for all X and Y1, Y2 belongs to be H, we have the inner product of X comma T star Y1 plus Y2 is equal to be Tx comma inner product of Y1 plus Y2, which is equal to be the inner product of a Tx comma Y1 plus inner product of a Tx comma Y2. And this can be rewritten as a X comma T star Y1 and X comma T star Y2. And using up again the property of an inner product space, this is can be written as a inner product of X comma T star Y1 plus T star Y2. So hence we can find that the T star of Y1 plus Y2 is equal to be this part. So now we have to prove that T star of alpha Y is equal to be alpha times T star of Y. So for Y belongs to be H and alpha belongs to be a scalar. So consider inner product of X comma T star of alpha Y, which is equal to be Tx comma alpha Y. And using up this, because we know that this is the conjugate in a second argument. This is a linear conjugate in a second argument. So we have alpha bar into the inner product of a Tx comma Y, and which is equal to be alpha bar into the inner product of X comma T star Y. And again, if it moves inside, because it is the linear conjugate in a second argument, so this is the X comma alpha bar T star of Y. And you know that this is equal to be alpha. So we found that T star of alpha Y is equal to be alpha times T star of Y. So we get the proof of a properties like T of a X plus Y is equal to be T of a T star of a Y1 plus Y2 is equal to be T star of a Y1 plus T star of a Y2. And second, we have proved that T star of a alpha Y is equal to be alpha times T star of a Y. So hence T star is a linear. Now we prove that T star is also bounded. So for Y belongs to be H, say norm of a T star of a Y square is equal to be the inner product of a T star Y comma T star Y by the definition of a norm and the inner product. This is equal to be t into t star y comma y. And by using up a CS inequality, we have this is less than equal to be norm of t into t star y into norm of y, which is further because here t is a bounded. So this is less than equal to be norm of a t into norm of a t star y into norm of a y. So from here you found that the norm of a t star y is less than equal to be norm of a t into norm of y. So hence we found that t star is bounded. Also, if we taken up the supremum over the norm y is not equal to be 0, we get the norm of a t star y over norm of y is less than equal to be norm of a t. And we found that the norm of a t star is less than equal to be norm of a t. So now we have to show that the t star and star means adjoint to adjoint is equal to be t. So for all x and y belongs to be h. So here the inner product of a t x comma y is equal to be inner product of x comma t star y. So this is x comma t star y. So replacing t by the t star, we get t star of ax comma y is equal to be inner product of ax comma t star star y. So now interchanging the role of the x and y, we get here the t star of y x inner product is equal to be inner product of y comma t star star x. And taking conjugates on both sides, we get x comma t star of y is equal to be t star star x and y. And hence from these equalities, we found that the inner product of tx comma y, which is equal to be the inner product of x comma t star y, which is equal to be the inner product of a t star star x comma y for all x y belongs to be h. And using up by the equality of our inner products, we can say that this t is equal to be t star star. So also we have norm of a t star is less than equal to be norm of a t. So replacing t by the t star, we get the norm of a t star star is less than equal to be norm of a t star. So we have a norm of a t is less than equal to be norm of t star. So therefore norm of a t is equal to be norm of t star. And here's the result. So here if we take up the adjoint of identity operator, the adjoint of identity operator is itself. So identity operator itself is a adjoint operator. Similarly, the adjoint of the zero operator, the zero or null operator is itself. So clearly we have the I star and theta star belongs to be the collection of all the boundary linear operators from H to H. So we have a norm of AI is equal to be norm of I star and norm of a theta is equal to be norm of a theta star. So let H be a complex Hilbert space and T1 and T2 be two boundary linear operators mapping H onto itself. That is T1 and T2 belongs to be a boundary linear operators. Then T1 plus T2 and alpha times T1 are also belongs to be a collection of boundary linear operators. So now in the next theorem, so let H be a Hilbert space and T1 and T2 be the operators from H to H and they are bounded. Then the adjoint of a T1 plus T2 is equal to be the adjoint of T1 plus adjoint of T2. And similarly, the adjoint of alpha T1 is equal to be alpha conjugate T1 adjoint. For alpha belongs to be a scalar and a complex. And similarly, the adjoint of a T1 T2 is equal to be adjoint of a T2 into the adjoint of T1. So first of all, we'll discuss the part 1. So here for all x and y belongs to be a Hilbert space H, we have inner product of a T1 x y is equal to be the inner product of x comma T1 star y. And similarly, the inner product of a T2 x y is equal to be the inner product of x comma T2 star y. So now consider the inner product of x comma T1 plus T2 star y, which is can be written as the inner product of a T1 plus T2 x comma y, which is equal to be inner product of a T1 x plus t2x into comma y, which is equal to be the inner product of t1x comma y plus the inner product of t2x comma y. And again we can write up like this way, which is the inner product of the x comma t1 star y plus the inner product of x comma t star y, and which can be further rewritten as in this form by using a property of a inner product. And here we found that the adjoint of a t1 plus t2 is equal to be adjoint of t1 plus adjoint of t2. Now we will discuss the second part. In the second part, we have adjoint of alpha t1 is equal to be the alpha conjugate into the adjoint of t1. So consider the inner product of x comma adjoint of alpha t1 into y for all x and y belongs to be Hilbert space H. We have this is equal to can be written as a inner product of alpha t1 x comma y, which is equal to be the alpha times inner product of t1x comma y by using the property of a inner product space. So which is equal to be alpha times x comma t1 star y, which is equal to be alpha will move to the second part. In that case we have this is alpha conjugate t1 star y. This being true for all x y belongs to h, we can say that the alpha into t1 star is equal to be the alpha conjugate t1 star y. Now we have to be proved that t1 t2 star is equal to be t2 star t1 star. So again we consider that the inner products of a t1xy is equal to be this, and the inner product of a t2xy is equal to be this. And consider inner product of a t1 t2x comma y, which is equal to be x comma inner product of a t1 t2 star y, and which can be again rewritten as a inner product of a t1 t2x comma y. Now if I consider t1 as this here, that which can be written as a t2x into the inner product of a t1 star y, and again here which is can be written as a x inner product of t2 star t1 star y. And if we compare of these two equalities, we can found that we can say that by the equality of the inner products, we have t1 t2 star is equal to t2 star t1 star. So now we have, if T is a collection of belongs to be a collection of a boundary linear operators from H onto itself, then the norm of the T star into T is equal to be norm of a T square, which is equal to be norm of T into T star. So we always have a norm of a T star into T is less than equal to be norm of a T star into norm of a T. And we know that the norm of a T star here is equal to be norm of a T. We have already proved up this thing. So this is equal to be, so we can found that this is equal to be norm of a T into norm of a T, which is equal to be norm of a T square. So we found that norm of a T star into T is less than equal to be norm of a T square. Clear? Now here T star belongs to be again a collection of a boundary linear operator from H to H. We have already proved up this, and this norm of a T is equal to be norm of T star. So we found up this thing is being proved. So now I consider the norm of a T square, which is equal to be supremum of a norm of a Tx, where the norm of x is less than equal to be 1 by the definition of the norm boundary linear operators. And norm of Tx square can be rewritten as a inner product of Tx comma Tx, and which is equal to be T star Tx comma x. And using up again the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, we can say that this is less than equal to be supremum of norm of T star into Tx into the norm of Ax. So this is further less than equal to be norm of a T star into T. So we found that the norm of a T square is less than equal to be norm of a T star into T. And from these two inequalities, we can say that they are same. Norm of a T star into T is equal to be norm of T square. And similarly, replacing the T by the T star, we get the other part of the results are there. We get the T into T star is equal to be norm of a T square. Thank you.